Hi, thanks for joining us. We are the Leong brothers, Hosean and Stanley, and the Leong form is back. Welcome to season 2. This show is going to be packed with lots of twists and turns. And our guest on this episode knows all too well about twists and turns. In fact, he's a world champion in a sport where such skills and more are absolutely necessary. It's not Formula One racing, but indoor skydiving.
That's right. And they always say the sky is the limit, don't they? But Kai Minejima-Lee isn't limiting his abilities and ambitions. He is just 16 years young.
Yes.
In relation to us, 16 years young. The reigning World Cup Freestyle champion and 2025's, yes, Singapore's Sports Boy of the Year after an incredible, get this, 16 medal haul, Hosean. 16 medals.
Okay, 16 more than any of us lah. Okay.
Yeah, if you start from zero. Across international competitions in 2024. Now, more recently, he bagged a bronze in solo speed as well as a gold, and that's as part of the 4-way dynamic team over in Sydney, and that was across the National Day weekend at the Australian Open Indoor Skydiving Championships.
And along with Kai, we want to welcome Naomi Minejima, his mom, because behind every world champion, there's always a parent who supports and, of course, gives everything they can to make sure the world champion remains world champion, right? So once again, welcome Kai and Naomi.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's so fun to have you both on. But let's warm up, shall we? Before we go into any sport and any competition.
Right.
We thought this season we're gonna have some fun. All right, so we thought we're gonna have a word association game that pertains to the topic that we're gonna talk about. So on the table are 4 buzzers. If you have a word that associates with the word that Stanley gives, you slam your hand on it, well, don't hurt your fingers, and answer it associated with the word that Stanley says. Okay, shall we do that?
Okay, and then after that, what happens?
After that, you get a point. I mean, the points don't matter. This is for fun, warm the brains up.
All right. Okay, and then the word will trigger the next word, right?
Yeah, exactly. The next word, the next person just jumps in.
Okay.
Can
all right.
we try?
Can.
5 minutes.
So I'll give
less.
the first word.
5 minutes.
Whichever comes
copy,
first.
right? Yeah.
Okay. In the meantime, the timer. We're gonna have a look at the timer. It's not really moving at the moment, so we're gonna see what happens next. All right. Okay. Ready?
The first word is goggles.
Swimming.
Pool.
Ocean.
Dolphin.
Remember, okay.
Took too long.
Sorry,
to get
I just
penalized.
wanted. All right, so okay. All right, Neil, you just cannot. I'm sorry.
It's just, I was so afraid of where it was going to go. So I was very careful. I was just like,
Okay,
Self-censorship.
it's okay. Because this is like the first time we're ever doing it. That was a warm up, right?
Oh, was it?
No,
Okay.
We
Can-
warmed up ready.
can.
All right, let's go. All right, let's get into it then. Thanks for the warm up. You see my dolphin face, like I didn't know what to say. I know Neil was like, what's going
But
on?
that was fun. I think we all warmed up already.
I know.
Yeah. And you know what? Season two is going to be exciting because we do have an overarching theme
Yep.
of sorts that would be the common ground in which all our conversations are going to be hinging on. And the theme is the turning point.
That's right. So the turning point, Kai, what led you down the path of competitive indoor skydiving? Okay, we're going to hear your experiences, the highs and the lows, the twists and the turns, and how they've shaped you as a person and your character, because it's not just you alone, right? There's a team behind you. There's a whole, your mom's there. There's many parents there.
The teammates.
The teammates are there as well. Okay.
Yep. So that's where we're going to be going down the path of, and also just finding out from you the experiences that you've had, not just the ups and the victories, but also the downs and the break-ins.
When did you start having these dreams of flying?
Yeah, so it all started when I was 3 or 4 years old, and my dad, who you know very well.
All right, it's Mr. Miyagi, my best friend, all right? Who was also, by the way, on the first episode.
Season one.
Season 2.
Yeah, he was invited to iFly Singapore's anniversary party, and he brought me along, and I was this little kid, and I was walking around, it's like looking, it's like, oh, look at those people.
That's him
They're
holding,
flying.
holding
What are you holding?
I'm holding my dad's hands.
Oh, I thought it was a balloon. Oh.
It could be a balloon too, maybe. There's a party, you know, you have the balloons and like, here, I have a free balloons. Okay,
Okay.
I'll take it. And you know, there's people flying around. I was like, that's so cool. I want to
Right.
do that. And in Singapore, because of the law, you have to be 7 in order to start flying.
Okay.
And so every year I went up to my parents. I was like, "Can we go yet?" It's like, you know, I'm older now. Can we go yet? And it was like, "No, not yet, not yet, not yet." And I think they were a bit annoyed. Maybe. I would come up to them all the time. It's like, "Is it time?" It's, no, it's 3 more years, 2 more years, and finally on my 7th birthday,
Right.
they brought me there for the first time, and I got to go through all the training things. Like, okay, you put on the suit, you put on the helmet, and they were like, okay, and then now we go home. And I think I almost cried. I was like,
Oh.
no.
So that was the first time you put on a suit and then you tried everything like the whole
At 7.
go through
Before I went into the tunnel, they're like, okay, that's it. And then I almost cried, and then they was like, oh no, we're just playing a joke on you.
Oh, I see.
And I got to jump into the tunnel for the first time, and I was like, wow, this is like so amazing. I'm flying, and you know, I was like, so many things going through my head. It's like going up and down. And actually, my first time, I was surprised by being able to fly with Kira Po, who's my teammate now, but also my senior, and she was the world junior or world champion at the time. And you know, is someone who
Oh,
I've
back at that time,
When you were 7, she was already world champion.
world
a
champion.
junior.
Oh, I see.
And you know, I saw videos of her flying, and I was
Right.
like, "Well, that's so cool." It's like, you know, I want to be like that. And to be able to fly with her was, you know, such an amazing experience. And you know, it set me down the path. You know, I was like, before they could even get me out of the tunnel, I was like, I want to do more. And so I kept going back and trying to learn more. My first ever competition was actually in Sydney,
Okay.
at the same tunnel that, you know, I just competed at 2 weeks ago. And it was like maybe 6 or 7 months into my flying. So
Oh,
less
so
than a
soon,
year. Yeah. So I was still 7.
Yeah.
And I went there, and it was, you know, such an amazing experience. There's so many people flying around. And, you know, I competed in junior freestyle, and I got 4th. And I saw my friends on the podium. I was like, I want to be there. And so, you know, I came back, I trained more.
Yeah.
And, you know, the next competition, I was like, I want to be on the podium. I want to be on the podium.
Right.
And something I've like, you know, reaching higher and wanting to do more every time. That's kind of how I've got where I am now.
Yeah. I mean, starting off at 7, I suppose, at that age, I don't know if Mommy would agree, but at that age, as a young kid, you don't have fears and phobias of injury and breaking bones and whatnots. At that age, you just want to reach for the skies. Would you
no,
agree?
Yeah, there was like no fear.
Yeah.
I think the thing about starting anything young is like you go in with it with no fear, no like preconceived, you know, like negatives, and it's just like you go for it. And so I think that's the good thing about them starting young.
But what was your reaction then? Or, I mean, when he says, this is what I want to do. Well, I mean, your first thought that came to your mind.
Like, could you play badminton?
Could you just go play football?
Yeah, football.
Can you just run?
yeah.
Play in the
I
yard.
hate running.
Me too. Yeah, so what was the first thought that came to your mind when he said he wanted to do this and he was like 7?
I was like, okay.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's important to support them and let them do whatever they want to try out when they're young, and they may change their mind, and I think that's okay. You have to explore to find your thing. And so, you know, every time he wants to do something, I'm like, yeah, try it. And if you don't like it, we can stop. There's no pressure. Just try it, experience it. If you don't like it, then okay, you've tried it. So that was, he didn't stop.
Stop. How many years has it been already?
9 years.
9
9
years.
years,
Okay,
yeah.
almost a decade already.
But I would expect that a lot of parents and even young people would think that indoor skydiving isn't quite the most accessible sport. It's not like you could go down to, you know, the void deck and kick some balls, or go down to the open field and
the pool even.
or the public pool and do laps and training and all. You need a tunnel. I mean, I'm not talking about the MRT tunnels, but we're talking about indoor. What kind of tunnel? How do you describe this?
tunnel.
Wind tunnel.
A
Wind
wind
tunnel.
tunnel,
That's
yeah.
right. You need a wind tunnel as well, which is not, you know, something you can easily have access to as well. So, I mean, that's quite an incredible sport that you've chosen to undertake, and look where you are right now.
Yeah, well, actually, with the accessibility of the sport, because there's only one wind tunnel in Singapore, and that's iFly Singapore. You know, me and my team were working to grow the sport as well, and to involve more young people and to nurture the sport in that way. And we're also looking to include more schools. So actually, Hua Chong has a CCA. So quite frequently they'll come and we see them train, and a lot of schools are doing educational things, because the wind tunnel actually has a lot of applications in physics as well. So they come and they learn about the wind flow and everything, and they get to try. And I think it's really cool that we're starting to grow it that way as well.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. So because a lot of people, they think that, well, is it expensive? First of all, because I tried it once and it's not cheap to just go in the wind tunnel and play. So how is this all happening with schools, and how do you make it more accessible if price is a bugbear?
Yeah, I think we're working a lot with iFly to help not only the athletes but the people who are coming up in the sport, and just to help build that base. And then me and my teammates were also giving coaching to people who wanted. So for quite a while we were doing like some free coaching to anyone who would want it, not only to build experiences for ourselves and to learn, because a lot of the times when you coach something, you actually start to understand it better. So it's training for ourselves as well, but also to help the base in Singapore, to help grow that community.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so well and good that Hua Chong has such a CCA. Perhaps more schools are going to be coming on board as well. And then you have a little bit of a traffic jam at the wind tunnel. And where would you? Yeah, then where would you go for training? Because I think you do have overseas locations as well, Kai, that you train at.
Yeah, so whenever we travel with competitions, we'll go maybe 1 week or 2 weeks in advance, depending on how big the competition is, how many people they're going to be there. And we always train there early, because every wind tunnel is different. So for example, there's different sizes, different technologies, and so the wind will feel different. For example, we express some as like, this wind feels soft, some is rough or burbly, which means there's like lots of turbulence, yeah. And some are cold and hot, and it all makes a difference. So we go there to kind of acclimatize ourselves and try and practice what we've done in Singapore and bring it there as well. What we're really lucky to have in Singapore is quite a big tunnel. It's a 16-foot diameter, so it's one of the bigger ones in the world. But competition standard is 14. So the plus side is that we have a lot more space to experiment. There's a lot more we can play around with. Like using the whole space. It's really fun to fly around. But then on the other hand, when you go to overseas tunnel and train for a competition, it's like, why is it so small?
Yeah.
And then you have to get used to that and fly your routine. Make sure, if you're flying this in Singapore, maybe if you fly in a different tunnel, you're like past the wall, and you can't really do that.
No.
So that's kind of what we're getting used to all the time when we train overseas.
So you got to be really disciplined, especially in a larger tunnel like Singapore. I mean, could you stick masking tape within the tunnel and say these are the OB markers?
We don't do it inside the tunnel.
It's in your brain though.
We do that. And sometimes we have markers outside, or a lot of the times we'll look outside the tunnel and see this AC here that if we line up this line with something outside, for example, like a pillar outside, then we're in this spot. Because one of the problems that being in the tunnel is there's a lot of parallax error. If you're just looking at something that's on the tunnel wall,
it's true.
You could be anywhere in the tunnel and still looking at that point. So what we do is we look outside and try to line it up. And, a lot of the time we'll spend just walking around, not even with the tunnel running, and trying to find, where we have to be inside the tunnel.
This is not tunnel vision anymore. It's external, outside of the tunnel.
Okay. Speaking of having external vision, so as a parent, Naomi, how do you look outside this whole process and go, okay, this is what we need to do as parents now, because your son and the teams are all doing this thing, but you as parents, as you travel with them, you have to step aside and go look at the big picture, right? And take care of so many things. How does that process work for you as a parent?
I think the Singapore team is really lucky because we have like such a close knit group of parents, and the kids all get along, which is great.
Yeah.
And the parents all get along. So then when we travel for competitions, the parents like automatically we have different roles. Like someone will do laundry, someone will chauffeur the kids back and forth, someone will buy groceries, someone will cook. So we have different roles, and everyone will support each other's kids as well. So like, sometimes like someone would go to the town and we're like, okay, well, I'll pick this person up, I'll pick Jordan up, and then after that I'll pick Izzy up, I'll send Kai there. So it's just everyone has a role to play, and we just fall into those roles, and it's just really nice to have that community. Yeah.
Something that I think is really nice is, whenever I'm training, sometimes my mom will be busy, at the house and preparing things for everyone. And I know there's always people there who are watching out and looking out for me. And, I can ask advice from any one of my teammates, their parents. Everyone knows what's going on. And it's nice to have that community, especially when you're so far away from home.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like your extended family almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you call them uncles and aunties?
Yeah.
Okay. So Naomi, what is your typical role? I mean, are you the chef, the laundry woman, the chauffeur?
I think when we get to a house, usually the first thing me and some of the moms would do, we'll go through everything. What do we need to get for groceries? Is there anything we need? Maybe we need extra lights. Maybe we need, more plates or whatever it is. And then we do that. And then we do a big cleanup. We just make sure we put everything in the dishwasher. We clean every surface so that it's a comfortable space.
And so no one can
kids.
fall ill as well.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. That's a big thing. Oh, we also have a parent who would like do the juicing, and then someone will make like ginger, honey, lemon, or whatever
Wow.
it is, like a pot of it, and everyone will have it. Yeah. Usually we would do that, and then I would cook. So then I would do the meals for the kids as well.
Yeah. And the meals, would they be recommended by a nutritionist? Like you should do this dish and that dish and with this ingredient?
You are a nutritionist, right?
I am the one.
It's healthy.
No. Yeah, but like for example, Kira is mostly vegetarian.
Okay.
And so what I would do is make sure that she also gets some things like some good protein in as well. As much as possible. And we try to make sure that the kids eat healthy, and we try to tell them like you can snack, but we make sure that they have actual healthy meals and go out and eat good food. So like we say like no instant noodles, no like that kind of thing. But they get a lot of snacks and sugar as well, because they really need it. They need that
energy boost.
Because I was going to say that, everyone's like a teenager.
Yeah.
Everyone's growing.
Yeah.
And doing the sport where it's calorie burning like crazy.
Yeah.
So you need sugar, you need
Yeah.
protein, you need carbohydrates and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so you're in charge of all that.
Just the proper food at home. But when other parents come by, we all take turns, because you burn out as well. One
Yeah, of
person does
course.
everything. Yeah. So the roles have a bit of a crossover at times as well. But then they get a lot of things. And the Singapore team is actually known for
Having
being-
lots of food.
yeah. So every time we're at the tunnel, it's like we have like a bag of like food.
Wow.
Or we have a locker that's food, and everyone's welcome to go to it as well. So then like the other teams will go and they'll have we just took some chocolate,
Well, that's nice.
and then we'll plenish
Share.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also first aid. Like the team manager, she has a first aid kit. So every time everyone will come, oh, do you guys have like this or
Right.
that? So that's we're very well prepped.
Because the flying community is also not very big, right? At the end of the day, you
Yeah.
kind of know each other. Even
Yeah,
your
yeah,
competitors, you're also friends.
Yeah,
You're also part of this
100%.
community. So it's nice to hear that it's not just competition.
Yeah.
Right?
I think what's really important is, because it's such a new and growing sport, is that everyone works together, to build the sport forwards. Because if you're all just like trying to fight each other and take each other down, it's not really going to go anywhere. And there needs to be like a sort of collaboration in that way, a friendly rivalry. Because I think some of my like biggest rivals are some of my closest friends as
That's
well in my
great
team
to
and
hear.
outside of it. And, it's really nice whenever you go to competitions, like, there's people that will support you, even though they're competing against you, they're always there for you.
Oh,
And,
okay.
you can ask
That's
anyone
nice
for help
to hear,
as well. Yeah.
right? Because you always think that sports is so cutthroat. We did it again.
We did it again. We said the same word at the same time.
The Leong brothers.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's really nice to hear that. But how big is the Singapore team actually? How many people do you have in the team?
Typically we would have maybe like, depending on the competition. So, for like maybe national levels when people are more busy, because a lot of us are, in school or working. So it also depends on what the schedule is like. So which competitions we can go to. So maybe it would be 3 or 4 for, your standard international competition. But then when we go to the world level, it's maybe 6 or 7 of us.
Yeah.
In Macau at the World Cup in 2024, we had an especially large contingent. We had, I think it was 21 or so
Competitors.
competitors.
Wow.
And
From
we were
Singapore.
From
So many,
Singapore.
I didn't realize there's so many of us.
And we were one of the biggest contingents in the competition.
Wow.
So which means times 2 lah. The parents all come along, then be like 40 people on the tour bus.
Actually, there are like 7 younger
Yeah.
kids, and the rest are like adults.
Okay,
yeah.
so they can take care of
So, yeah.
themselves. Oh, inside I go
Yeah.
McDonald's and eat like that. No.
But also the fact that you travel so much for competitions, Kai, and let's talk about school as well, because I think I believe it was homeschooling that's been largely your
Yeah.
road,
Yeah.
your journey through the education system as well. So that means I assume mommy has to be on top of syllabus and curriculum. How do you manage, especially as Kai goes one level to the next level and it gets more and more complicated and complex.
To be fair, I mean, I did all of that when he first started homeschooling. So like from grade 1 through to grade like 5, 6, 7. That was me. And then now he just does it on his own. So then at some point I'm like, okay, so you have to choose what you want to do, and this is the journey you need to take. You need to choose your subjects, and you let me know what you want to do, and you have to tell me why you want to do it, what the costs are. And where you want to go from there, and like sort of like the journey, the progression. And then so now he does all of that as well. Yeah.
Because the other teammates go through the Singapore system, right? So they have to juggle real school,
Yeah.
with training.
Yeah.
So how does that work for them? Do you know?
Yeah, so what we're quite lucky is a lot of our teammates, they get support from their school. So their school will support their sporting endeavors, and basically whenever we have a competition coming up, they can write to them. It's like, hey, we won't be able to come for this.
Okay.
Because we have competitions, we'll make up for it later. During training, obviously they have to go to school as well. So a lot of the times, because I do multiple events as well, I would go and train my solo events in the morning and afternoon. And then late afternoon and evening, my teammates will come and then we'll train our team events.
Okay, so it's nicely balanced in that sense. That's great to hear.
And then because I'm at the tunnel all day long, then I just bring, my iPad, my MacBook,
Okay.
and I sit in the corner and I do my
do your
schoolwork
work.
whenever I have breaks.
So disciplined there.
I know, I don't think I can do this.
You're so disciplined. At that age, I would have been like, oh, okay.
Plus multiple distractions as well. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure.
Mommy knows.
We're gonna go into you as an athlete. It's just been talking about your highs, right? All your medals and your wins and all that. Let's talk about your dark moments. Were there dark moments as an athlete? I mean, and how did it affect you as a person, Kai?
I mean, of course, I think maybe I would go so far to say that you wouldn't be able to call yourself an athlete if you didn't have any of these dark moments or hard like challenges as well. One of my biggest, I would say, hurdles is in a way to get over was in Slovakia in 2023. I was competing at the World Championships, and I think I was coming off a win from last year, so I was kind of defending my title in a way for junior freestyle, and it was a lot of stress, a lot of pressure, and there's a lot of fear as well. I was overthinking everything. And I think at the same time, it's because as a young athlete, you're going through your teenage years, or I was freshly into my teenage years, and there's a lot of things that you don't understand and a lot of emotions. Plus, all these emotions from your sport as well. And it's a lot to deal with. And I think I let, the emotions mix with the performance, and that affected, what I was able to come up with. And during that competition, I think I got a silver, and it was really close with the gold. And, I was really frustrated. It's like, it was super close. And, it's a big setback in a way, because I know in myself, like, I could have won that, but there were so many things going on, and I let my emotions take over. And one of the hardest things I would say to do as an athlete is to regain lost confidence. Like, for example, coming off a loss, going into the next competition, you're going to have so many thoughts running through your head. It's like, what if this happens again? What if that happens again? And going through the training to rebuild that, so you don't have those thoughts, and you can just rely on your training. That's a very tough process. It's something I've had to go through a few times, and it doesn't really get easier. You know what you have to do, but it's still the same. And for example, even if you have like a difficult trick, and even just in the training, like I've done this 5 times in a row and I haven't been able to get it, it's really frustrating. And you have to kind of slow down and, okay, this is what I need to do, because that's a hit to the confidence that you have, especially if it's maybe a riskier move or a more complicated thing. For example, if it's an original move of yours, and this is something that people know me for, why can't I do this? That can be super frustrating as well. And then going into a competition, for example, if your last training didn't go so well, and you have these thoughts like going through, is like, this is the last thing I
last time
did
you did it was not
was
good,
this, and to be able to clear that off your mind and go into the competition with a clean slate is a real challenge. And so, for example, for my first what I first talked about in Slovakia, right after that, what I did with the support of my mom and my team was to just really go back into training. And right immediately after that competition, we all started training again, because it was, I think, a tough competition for a lot of us,
right?
Mentally and physically as well. And a lot of what I had to focus on was, going through that competition again, reliving it even was like one of the hardest things. Like I would go through that, and I would be training, and I would think about what was happening, and the emotions are super strong as well.
It's a lot to take.
Yeah.
It's a lot to go through. I mean, not to say that because you're younger and stuff like that, but it's still because you have fresh emotions that maybe we would have gone through many times in our lives, our lifetime.
Yeah.
But for you, it's so fresh and it's raw. So I mean, ask Naomi, how did you then help or support Kai during those dark periods?
I think it's basically letting him know that we're here for him, and like he's free to speak to me or anyone else about that, and then just let him experience it, because I think you have to experience it, you have to go through it, but then you have to make a decision as well. Do you go through it and then let it affect you negatively, and then it's just something you want to avoid forever, or do you face it and then go, okay, it's unpleasant, what do we do from here? Let's break it down. And I think he's actively been trying to learn how to separate these two things, like the emotions and what you have to do, and being an athlete. So that's and a teenager as well.
Yeah,
and then you got to take that
exactly.
away as well. Yeah.
I would assume, just based on what Kai had shared about these dark moments, as the psychological challenge as it being more overwhelming sometimes than the physical challenges that come with being a top class athlete. Would you say that psychological challenges are more challenging to overcome?
I think they're very different. And you have to take different approaches to tackling both of these problems. But at the same time, they're a bit intertwined. Like, if you have, you're in a mental rut, your performance gets affected. You don't, your body doesn't listen to you as well as if you were confident. And I think one of the key things that you have to do, or I had to do, when I was training and, coming off a loss, for example, was to just remind myself of how much I've trained and just trust in that. You know, I've done this, I've trained this routine like 100, 1,000 times, and you know, I know I can do it. So you just, you know, cut the thoughts off and let yourself do what you know you have to do. So I don't know maybe which one is more challenging, but you know, they kind of go hand in hand almost.
I think mentally, because I think if you go into a mental block, then that affects everything as well.
Like you go into a funk, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes mentally
Yeah.
we spiral.
Yeah.
We know we can do it, but then this is, you know, you're not good enough.
Yeah. Oh,
You
what
know,
if,
that
what
little
if,
voice at
what
the back
if,
of
what
your
if?
Yeah. And it I think it affects everybody.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But more so if you're an athlete, you got a competition coming up and you're like, why am I getting these thoughts?
But I think it also helped him as well because he has teammates who go through the same thing. So he's not alone. He knows okay. You know, like especially like his mentors as well. They also went through this and they were also growing up as a teenager as well. And they had to go through all these challenges as well. And he can see, and now he can ask them like, what was it like for you? And so then when they share that, it's like, okay, I'm not alone. This is normal.
So that's what I mean by community, right? You have a community, which is great.
Exactly. Yeah.
A little bird told me that you had to compete against Tom Cruise's
Tom Cruise.
Tom
The
Cruise's trainer. Is that true?
Yeah.
What was that like? Tom Cruise lah.
I know,
His
but
trainer lah.
How old's his trainer then?
Don't know.
In his
30s.
30s.
Oh, whoa.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's very young.
Okay. So yeah, I was like, what do you mean? How does that happen?
I think more than Tom Cruise's instructor, I see him more as almost a personal, someone I respect a lot. I've watched him compete and everything since I've been very young, and he's seen me grow up as well. He's even coached me in the past.
Wow.
I think
This is Mission Possible.
in Macau, it was my open category debut. So actually, a little bit of backstory is in the beginning of 2024, I was supposed to be competing in the Freestyle Junior, but Kira had gotten injured in January, and because we had Isabel in Freestyle Junior already, so we had 2 in Junior and 1 open. But because Kira was injured, we wanted to cover all the bases.
Oh, okay.
And I was asked by our team manager, do you think you can take the challenge and go into open? And because I thought, I have my mom, I have all my teammates, supporting me, and if I train really hard, maybe I could do it. And so I decided to do that. I ramped up the training and also the mental training. And when I went to the competition, it was like, I had prepared really well, but it was super daunting because it's all these more older and more experienced athletes, people who've already made a name for themselves, and previous coaches and people who've watched me grow up. And competing against people like that is really something different.
People who have taught you all the basic tricks and how to fly from the get-go. Yeah.
And competing against them is something it's so surreal. I was so nervous that I actually, in the first 4 rounds, it's 5 rounds of competition. In the first 4 rounds, I didn't watch anyone. I was just facing behind and just warming up and not looking at anyone before me or after me, because I didn't want it to affect my performance. Sure. But when the first set of scores came out, I saw that and I was like, okay, maybe I can do this. And I just put everything into that performance, for those performances. And at the final round, I just couldn't help it. I had to watch people fly because it's the last time I'm going to be able to see these people fly their routines, and
Before I beat them.
and it actually helped me in a way. It's like I see people performing well, and when my confidence is high, it makes me want to perform my best as well. It doesn't make me feel like, oh, these people are doing so well. It's really like I want to fly like that too. I want to be
Show
on
my
that stage.
stuff.
I want to show what I can do. Yeah, and in that way, it was really special, being able to compete and even win against these people.
So how did Tom Cruise's
His
instructor
name is
come in?
Tom Evans.
His name is also Tom.
Tom.
So how did Tom?
Tom's, he's plural.
Tom's.
Yeah.
So he trained you
He
as well.
slapped him.
When I was in 2019,
Okay.
quite a while ago. But,
Wow.
you know, we've watched him compete for quite a long time. He's always been like,
Amazing.
I think the first time we saw him was in Bahrain.
Yeah,
And everyone was doing their freestyle, and then he came up and he had a completely different style because his home tunnel is an open tunnel, so
you
no
mean?
walls.
Ah.
Yeah, so it's like an open.
So you
right?
just hope you don't.
I mean, there's a net and everything.
I see.
Again,
Okay.
there's physics involved, so that there's only so much you can go.
All right.
And so there's a net and everything. But the style is very, very different. So when we watched him fly, we were like, who is that? It's like, we've never seen, I mean, maybe the rest of them have seen, but for us, we were like, wow. Like, his style was so different.
In what way?
I think not so much because of the open tunnel, but because he has a lot of background in tricking and breakdancing as well. He was able to incorporate those elements, and he's, I think, still to this day, one of the most powerful flyers in the world. And he incorporates that. He has a very unique style to his flying in the sense that he also just does whatever he wants, and it's so like raw. And it's really amazing to watch. It's like every time I watch him, it's really super
Inspiring.
inspiring. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. You have your own original Kai styles as well, right? Yeah. Where do you draw your inspiration from in coming up with these styles? You don't break dance, do you?
No, I don't.
But you ballet,
I did ballet for a few years.
which is great for this sport. I
Did
think.
that help?
It definitely helped a lot with body awareness and the control and pointing my toes.
Yeah, but the original Kai moves, tell us about that.
Yeah, so because again the sport is new, it's growing, it's coming up. There's a lot of innovation that goes into it as well. It's not like figure skating or gymnastics where the rule book is set and these are the specific moves that you can do, and inventing a new move is more or less rare. Indoor skydiving has a lot of emphasis on inventing new things. And what I wanted to do was, I didn't want to be the next of someone. I wanted to be the first of me.
Yeah.
And I tried to incorporate flexibility that I've learned from, wushu and taekwondo and ballet as well. And also, the power that I see in flyers like Tom's and the grace that I see in flyers like Kira. And kind of just, pack them all into one style. And, also being a boy, it wasn't so common to see people doing flexible moves and doing splits and back arches. So I think I was one of even while I was young, I was one of the first to introduce that to the sport.
Wow.
And I was kind of just drawing on these styles that I really liked and I really enjoyed watching, and mixing those together kind of created something new that you don't really recognize as one or the other, but something unique. It's not quite a fusion, but kind of evolved into something different.
Right.
And from there, I kind of was able to create like new moves and things that haven't been done before. So like, for example, this year at the World Cup, I invented a new move that people were coming up to me and they were
Really?
like, "How did you do that?" It's like, how does that work?
Do you name your moves?
I have really bad naming sense.
Well, that's
Let's
fun
hear
though.
some. Let's hear some.
What those?
So this, the newest move that I have is kind of like a pike, and it's a roll. So I called it the pike move.
The pike move. Okay.
It's because I'm in a pike position throughout the move.
All right.
Okay.
You should put the name before that so you can trademark it like the Kai pike move. Like, have three- yeah.
The KPM.
Like, yeah, KPM. But then,
a good idea.
would you have any input to the styles or the stuff, Naomi?
I think all the parents actually, when we watch the kids fly and everything, sometimes I have to say some of the best moves that come out sometimes comes from a mistake. Like they do something and it's a mistake. We're like, oh, that was really good. How do you do that? And then they're like, I don't know.
Do it again.
Try doing that, but then maybe try doing it with this and that. So when you're watching it live and you see it, you're like, oh, actually, I can see this happening with that. So then we also have our input as well. And sometimes we would share videos with the parents and like, what do you think? And then they would give their honest feedback, like, oh, I think this is good. I think the music is great, but I think this one needs work. So then it's that kind of a community that we build each other up.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, because I when I watch you all these routines,
Yeah.
your music and the choice of music that you choose has always been to me, and because I do musicals and all that, I really love it because it's so out of left field. Like this year, the World Champions in Sydney, you did a tango, right? It was a tango. And I was like, how do you tango in the air? And you did it. And the Aussie commentator was screaming to the mic. It was so funny. I laughed so hard because I was laughing at him. He was going, oh my God, Kai, he's great, oh my God. He was just yelling to the microphone. I was like, dude, calm down. I know, Kai. I was so proud. We were so proud of you doing that. It was so funny. And then prior to that, in Macau, was it Earth, Wind and Fire or something? No, I can't remember now.
Sorry?
No.
Was it a classical piece then?
It was an instrumental.
Instrumental, yeah, it's instrumental.
Yeah.
Then you had disco once before, and I know you had so many different kinds of styles, music styles that you had to adapt your routine to, or the other way around. Yeah, adapt routine to.
Actually, the tango was he found the music he wanted to fly to that one, but the previous years a lot of the music was found by the team manager. She's like, oh, I found this, it's perfect. Like the one in Macau, they found it and they're like, I can totally see Kai flying this.
That was actually funny. It was like we came to each other. It was like, oh, we found music and we found the same song.
Oh yeah, they found the same
see,
song.
there
They're
you
like,
go.
we found it,
It's
and it
meant
was like,
to be.
yeah.
There's a lot of work that goes into choreographing the routine to the music as well. Our team manager Auntie Carol, she has a lot of experience with the music. She gives a lot of advice and help on this move should go with this sound, and she's able to hear the specific details in the music that you should sync. This step goes here and this twist goes here. And we have someone who also helps us cut the music as well.
Okay, that's good.
And a lot of the times I would like to cut it myself and have it refined because I'm not very good. So I know I want this section and this section and this section in this order, and can you please help me? And then it comes out really nice, and
Good.
I'm able to build the routine on that.
Yeah. Any chance they might incorporate a singing element while flying?
What, he sing as he flies?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Please no.
Just wondering. Just expanding that sport.
After my routine, I was like, there was an interviewer who wanted to interview me. I was like, please.
Yeah, you have no breath.
Yeah. So well done on the competitions in Australia across the National Day weekend. What are other short, even long-term targets and goals that you may have as you continue to fly, Kai?
Yeah, so this year there's a couple more competitions coming up. I'm going to have one in Poland and I think one in Spain as well. So I'm looking forward to those. And then, of course, next year there's the World Cup, which is going to be held in France, in Marseille.
Okay.
And, I'm just gearing up for those, trying to come up with routines and finding music. But also I've started coaching, and in Australia I had my first 2 students.
In Australia?
In Australia.
Oh.
And I think I did a pretty good job. Both of my students got gold in their respective disciplines.
Well done, Coach. Coach Kai.
Wow.
And so I'm trying to build up that way, get more experience, and I think one of my goals would be to be a better coach, and also for myself to be stronger mentally, because it's still a work in progress, and to learn how to deal with all these emotions and come up with my strategies to deal with this during competition.
So, I mean, so much goes into your life as an athlete, right?
Yeah.
What is Kai like outside of the sport?
Is that a question for mommy?
I sleep a lot.
Okay.
Yes.
Which is
Yes.
good. You're growing. You're
It
still
does.
growing.
Yeah.
And then, a day in the life of, when you're on the road, for example, a day in the life of a parent, looking after all the team and all that stuff. What happens on the road?
It's so much. We're so busy. We just, I don't even know. Like, we try to find pockets of time that we can actually go to maybe like a nice restaurant, and then so everyone can sort of like, decompress and have a good meal and then like laugh and everything. It's so important for the team to not just be like, okay, we have to focus. It's like they have to decompress as well. So then we try to find pockets of time where the kids can go to a place that they enjoy and then have food and lots of laughs that way. It's always the same thing, which is that we have to watch out for the kids. And then so one of the disciplines that they do is dynamic as well. So then we also help them with the lines, tell them if they're making a mistake or not. Or we watch a freestyle. We play the music for them. We cue the music when they're flying so that, they can fly to whatever music that they have chosen. We press record on the iPad so then they can watch the videos.
Right.
Then someone will be like, okay, I'm going to go home and I'm going to do a laundry.
Okay.
And then someone will say, okay, I'm going to go get groceries. And then I'll put it home and I'll cook and I'll come back. So then it's like we're always doing that.
Because it's so intense though.
Yeah.
So do you all ever have moments where you stop talking about the sport and just stop and talk about other things?
Well,
Hard, right?
I think it's tough.
we talk about the sport a lot, but we also just like have random conversations, like whenever we have pockets of time. Sometimes we're just really busy. It's like, for example, this past competition, I ate most of my meals at the tunnel or at home. It's just home tunnel. Sometimes I go training, like go for a run, and then home, and go back to the tunnel. And I'll spend like morning to night there. Sometimes it's hard to find time to decompress, but the time that I spend with my teammates is also very precious in a way, because they've been the people that I've been with the longest throughout my life, and also with my teammates' parents as well. Is we don't have a team coach. We do a lot of the stuff ourselves, like for example choreography and everything. But it's kind of like having a in-house coach as well, and all of them, because they've watched us train for so long. They kind of know better than a lot of athletes even, what's going on, the rules and everything. So it's really nice to have all of them around as well.
So we talk a lot about, you said iFly, you keep mentioning iFly Singapore. How have they come on board?
So not only has, iFly as the tunnel has been helping us with training and letting us use the tunnel. They let us sometimes when it's really busy and we have to train. They let us use the tunnel before opening or after closing, and the instructors, they all stay back to help us and help the place keep running. But also it's not only that, but just the iFly extended family. Everyone in Singapore, they tune in like at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. just to watch us compete overseas and cheer us on. And it's really nice to have, everyone behind you that way. And even when you're really unmotivated, you have something to keep fighting for.
That's great.
Yeah, and Uncle Lawrence and the management team as well, they've been really, really supportive. Sometimes they travel with us. Lawrence is the CEO of iFly Singapore.
Yes.
The last competition, he actually came up with us to Belgium as well, just to support. Like he just really just went there to support us, and
That's wonderful.
they give the kids a lot of support. So we're very, very grateful to them.
That's great.
Yeah.
Such a unique sport with such a unique community here in Singapore and around the world. Well, I think we're running out of time. So, like, if people want to follow you on your journey, you have your social media platform that people can follow you?
I'm on Instagram.
Instagram, okay.
I don't have TikTok yet. I probably should. I'll make one soon.
Slowly, one step at a time.
Could you record while in the wind tunnel flying?
They get people record. They film them, right?
We film from outside, so
I mean,
for training
from within, like from the flyer perspective.
Actually, you can,
We haven't
because now
looked into
you
that
have the
The Ray-Ban.
No, the Ray-Ban. Yeah. So
Wow.
we went to a tunnel where someone actually had those on, and they would fly with the flyers, and
that's great.
the footage is actually quite good. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think they can follow you at KaiFly
KaiFly SG.
SG, or is it .sg?
Skyfly.sg.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's underscore,
Underscore, is
if
it?
I'm not wrong.
Okay, anyway,
Or-
you
or
can search.
just
You can
KaiFly
search.
SG.
Yeah.
At
KAI
Kai,
fly.
SG.
or
Underscore.
underscore.
I don't think it's underscore either. It's just KaiFly SG if I'm not wrong.
Okay, we'll have a look. All right. Wish you guys all the best for your next competition. And keep us informed because we want the whole country to be behind the team as you guys travel the world and, putting Singapore on the map in terms of this indoor skydiving sport.
That's right. So we invite our listeners and viewers as well to tune in for more exciting episodes of the Leong Farm podcast here on Spotify as well as Apple Podcasts. And don't forget, if you want to watch us, you can. And that's on YouTube. Just search the Leong Farm.
We'll see you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye-bye.